Hey guys, Eclipse14 here, and welcome to the end of Let's Play Breath of Fire. Well, it's been a long and bumpy road, but we're finally here at the doorstep of the goddess Tyr. We've picked up every item in the game, every dragon transformation, the whole 9 yards. I even got the Star Hammer and Emperor Sword last episode, so we are good there. If you don't know where they are, check out the very ending of that episode. Anyhow, all that's left is just to step on those stone circles, so do so. And once again, we're just flying in the middle of space. Seriously? And there's the final transportation tile that takes us to where Tyr is just sitting around doing whatever. There she is, right up top. We're finally here. Step on forward. Hi. Press A. I mean, if you're gonna grant me a wish as a goddess, why am I gonna refuse? Hit yes. Damn, that's a pretty simple wish, but that is cool because everything is set up. And all is, that's how it is. We've covered, pretty much everything. All that good stuff. All this good stuff. This is alright. Same here. Ox has all this, yet could never carry a shield. And finally, Magu. That's how everything was for the game. And I've only got a handful of items, mainly because I was trying to stall against Jade and try to not use Agni for as long as possible, which actually turned out pretty good, all things considered. Just eventually I had to use it in order to, number one, keep my resources, number two, because my timer was going pretty long. Didn't want to just take forever on that. As the last episode, however, that limit goes out the window. Anyway, when you're all ready, and of course you've healed up from Tyr, speak to her again, and unfortunately, you gotta tell her no. Sorry. No particular reason, to be honest. Gotta be a weird double entente. Nothing. Anyway, so yeah, that's the goddess with a nice bubble purple aura. She's not going to be doing anything. All you really need to do is just pound her away with physical attacks. So just hit auto and let the job be done. Little defense, and of course the health bar. That's pretty much like a good chunk of other bosses we've faced up to this point. But this will stop as soon as the gauge hits red. So it'll take a few turns to do so because 999 is a freaking hard cap. And of course, the only one really doing any damage is Ryu because freaking Emperor Sword. If you didn't get it, it's a completely different story though. And eventually the fight will stop once it hits the red. There it is. Oh, a little farther than that, apparently, huh? After that, you actually have to press A again, because you can actually freely move at this point. I'll just have everybody up here, press A. Okay, why would I mean, you're not really defending yourself, I may as well. With that, we enter the second fight, in which case her health bar will not actually change, and of course the aura is now this form. it is what it is. Yeah, in order to actually do anything, whether or not you actually used Agni against Jade, and if you didn't, well, GG, you're good. I did it for as long as possible. In any case, you absolutely have to use Agni in order to get to the end of the game. And of course, just make everybody else attack because they're not going to do anything. Ryu goes first to begin with. Of course, the guys will attack. There's not much you can do. You have to transform into this humongous Chimera. No questions asked. And a single attack from Agni will do the job. It's still a pain in the ass to see. But yeah, once you do that, this happens. And the transformation into the true form of Tyr, ooh, whoa, just pretty much a xenomorph of sorts. Looks familiar. Anyway, 50,000 HP stand between you and the end of the game, which is double that of Jade, so yeah, this is definitely going to be a complete pain in the ass. So I am going to challenge myself instead of just trying to use Agni. The reason being is, once I do that, all it's going to be is simply beat the shit out of her, heal when necessary, and then go back to beating the shit out of her. Pretty much reminiscent of the early part of the game, where it was just Ryu against pretty much whatever. That being said, this health bar is pretty small compared to everything else we faced. It's only about 2,000. So if I can take that out without using Agni, that'd be pretty cool. So let's try it. Obviously I'm not gonna try to use Dragon Transformation right now, but I am gonna run Fort X. And of course I can use Bolt X. And Karn. Well, I mean I can let him use items later. Of course, the challenge shouldn't be too hard. Again, it's only like 2,000 points. But she does hit pretty hard. Not against Agni, though. Yeah, 400 damage, and that's what that is. And of course, it's 136 for that. It's not too shabby. So I'm gonna try to go as far as I can without needing Agni. And then after that, it's just, again, beat the ever-living fuck out of her, which is going to take a long time because, number one, you have a damage hard cap of 999, so you're guaranteed to have to hit it for a good 50 fucking turns. And, just it is what it is. Of course, I don't really need that with Ryu, because once I turn to Agni, it's gonna be 999 no matter what I freaking do. Wait, well, hold the fuck up. What, dice got hit for a shitload. Let's just do this instead. And of course we've got the equivalent of a freaking meteor, which hits for only 70. Nothing too crazy. What am I doing? Well, what I really need to do is just make sure Nita keeps healing. And I'll use as many Bolt X's as possible. With that, the gauge will eventually come down. Then again, so much for that working out. And there's our second phase. Okay, so no option really necessary. Everybody has to be alive for me to actually use Agni. So I don't have much of a choice here. I'm going to have to use a light. This way, stay stable. And of course, it's 48,000 freaking HP to finally take her down when it finally happens. It's just, it is what it is. Nah, Cure 3 is not necessary, but I do need to be careful. I'll just let, I'll let Karn use items to take care of people. Like using an herb on Nina. If I can run out of these herbs, that'd be pretty cool. You freaking dodged. Eat shit. The critical's only 150, sheesh. Yeah, just attack. Yeah, Bolt X does pretty nicely for itself. Even though nothing else is really working, I still gotta use Agni, but... I mean, I'm doing the best I can without needing to do so. Of course, it's also to just kind of, you know, try to spice things up a little bit, because after all, as I mentioned, as soon as I go to Agni, it's gonna go back to what's effectively a full circle. It's just beat the shit out of her, and heal when you need to with a cure, because cure is gonna put him back up to 999 anyway. Actually, let's just do a cure 3. And if I completely ran out of AP for... I'm basically going as far as I can until Dice runs out of AP. Then I'll make my transformation and it'll be done. Actually no, just a 2's fun. Not too much farther and I've got it done. Alright, so that's how that'll go. Ah, shit. Well, I need to get Nina back up. Of course, with Ryu not really doing much, I'm gonna let him be the one that uses the life. This way I can let Karn use a different thing. Yeah, that's fine. Never mind! Forget that ever happened. So, I'm just gonna cure 3 Nina. Dice can just use her magic. Okay, so I've only got 3 more Bolt X's to go, so let's just make sure I'm completely set up and ready to go, because I need to get, I'll have Karn with a life 2, Nina I'll just use a, I'll just run Fortify herself, this way she's doing something not stupid. Well, so much for that happening. And now Karn has the ability to do stuff, which I will do. One more round, that'll do it. I'll run an agility up on Ryu, maybe that'll, like, get her. It'll probably get him to move quicker than Tyr. And of course I'll have a cure used on Dice. Never mind. Just turns into an attack. I'll stick with a standard life in this case. Except I ran out, so hopefully I don't fuck up this time. Okay, good. Well, I've officially made it to this position. I'm not going to go any farther with the runs. Drop Agni and let's fucking go. I've had enough fun. I did pretty good for myself, I think. Though, unfortunately, I'm all out of life items, so I don't have an option. It's time for the old school beatdown. We have officially come full circle. Attack, 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 and use a cure when I get to about 100, because the only real threat that's going to happen at this point is pretty much a critical, because this only hits for 70 no matter what. And the critical can potentially hit for 100. And of course, no matter what happens, I'm going to be hitting for 999 anyway. It's just going to be doing this for God knows how long. Yeah, see 100 damage for a critical. That's really the only thing that's of concern. So I'll probably use a cure at about 120 or something like that. And of course, that agility up did not really work out too well, so I have to plan this ahead of time. But yeah, we truly came full circle. The very start of the game was pretty much like this. Beat the heck out of your opponent, and if you gotta heal, you gotta heal. And sure enough, here we are. Of course, I can't just use auto, because if I end up doing that, then I fuck myself over. Especially damning, since I don't have a freaking life item anymore. But it's not like Jade, where you could just use Shock on Agni and it would freaking work, which was what happened with me last episode. Only to realize that it was a literal Bolt X from Victory, so it didn't even matter in the end anyway. Okay, no matter what, I have to use the cure. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I was not going to thread the needle this time. Sometimes I did, this is not one of those cases. Especially in the circumstances I'm at right now. It's a bit of a shame I still can't use dice. I just keep running Bolt X. Well, it is what it is. Just a huge freaking slog and nothing else. God, this part's boring. It's really anticlimactic, if anything else. Fortunately, it's really the only simple boss, well, final boss of the series, because I know the second one was quite the challenge when I finally beat that game the first time. 3's pretty awesome, and so is 4. Do we really want to talk about 5? No, probably not. And of course, 6 never even had a final boss, because the damn thing was a phone game. So, you can see how that went. Damn thing didn't even last 2 years. Fucking hell. Just endless lighting. At least it's not the flashing white lightning like it was previously, because that is pain to watch. Because I knew there were times where I winced at it. Despite saying repeatedly, I don't suffer from seizures, and I don't. But I could see some people really seeing that as an eyesore. So that's why I tried to avoid that at all costs. Same with Nova. And there goes Terror, finally. That's it, this game is over. 10 points and 12 gold. What an accomplishment. And that's that. The whole floor just keeps on collapsing. The whole projection of space is gone. Of course, we can't move. Down goes the party. Lots and lots of windia birds. Oh hey, another rare moment of Ryu talking. Outside of 5, mind you. There she goes. Really? Oh, fuck off, Gobi. Really? And that's that. And that's Nina, just flying around near Agua. There's Camlin. Arad and the Crypt. That's Gust. And there's Magu. Dice is back to sleeping where she should be. There's Ox. Gobi's back to Prima, being a freaking weirdo. Karn's back in Bleak. Probably remember the stone robot from very early on. And of course, Bo will stop at Tantar, leaving just Ryu and Nina. And of course, Ryu goes on his own, back to the town he was from. And that's that. Alright, we made it. So concludes Breath of Fire for the Super Nintendo, and the conclusion of my 16th Let's Play. And my first project for 2024 is officially out of the picture. This was one I had wanted to do for quite a few years on the channel, and now I finally got the job done. It took a while, that was for sure, but I enjoyed it the same as I did the original run many years ago, before I even considered doing the channel, to be honest. So, what next? Well, I've got Shine the Holy Ark planned, and it's already ran through a couple episodes, so by the time this episode goes up, it'll probably be a good chunk farther in, whether it's recording or uploading. I have plans for my 18th Let's Play, but that will largely depend on how far Shine the Holy Ark has gone since this video uploaded. So, we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, I enjoyed this game. As for doing Breath of Fire 2, well, I kind of run this on the quota of, I don't like to do the sequel, like, almost immediately. It took a while before I decided to do Dragon Warrior 2 after doing the first game, and this will be no exception. I will do the second game, also on the Super Nintendo, but, it will be a while before I decide to do so. Nothing too crazy about it, it's just, that's how I think of things, really. I'd rather not just do the same damn series repeatedly because you get burned out fast. And I don't do that. For good reason. But yeah, my 18th Let's Play, I'm actually going to do my first game on the Nintendo 64. And I've got one of two options, but again, it'll depend on just how far ahead Shine the Holy Ark is, which is my 17th. And I've got two others ahead of that are planned, so I've got at least up to my 20th Let's Play set in stone. I just hope I'll be able to finish them before too long. But regardless, my first real task, started on New Year's Day, has finally been achieved. And I don't mind that one bit. As it is, I do enjoy this game. I am glad I was able to play through it for the channel, and yeah, actually I'm glad I was able to be one of those handful of people who have played through the entire Breath of Fire series, because you can't do 6 anymore, that's for sure. But it is what it is. Hey, giant enemy crab. God, I get tired of saying that, but it is always a good joke. Thanks for playing! And that is it. There's finally the end screen. Alright, that covers everything. So concludes Breath of Fire for the Super Nintendo and the conclusion of my 16th Let's Play. Thanks to everybody who watched from start to finish. It had been a pretty rough road, but I have been able to get it done. And that's all that matters. As mentioned, Breath of Fire 2 will be planned eventually, but it won't be immediate. I've got other plans in mind, and hopefully you'll watch them as well. Be sure to check out my other Let's Plays if you're interested in them, but until then, that's really all I've got to say. Not really much else that I haven't covered just in that whole credits sequence. So, with that all said, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next game.